So let me ask you something. Would you trust a decision if you had absolutely no idea how it was made? I mean, really trust it. That's the huge question we're tackling today when we talk about something called explainable AI. It really all boils down to one simple idea, right? Trust requires understanding. I mean, think about it. You'd never trust a doctor who just says, you're sick, but can't tell you why. So why on earth would we trust a machine that does the exact same thing? And honestly, for a long, long time, AI has had a major problem with giving us that why. And that leads us straight to this classic problem. People call it the black box. It's pretty simple. You put data in one side and poof, an answer pops out the other. But everything that happens in between, it's a total mystery. It's like a magic trick. We get the what, the final answer, but we're completely clueless about the how and, most importantly, the why. Now, this isn't just some abstract puzzle for data scientists to worry about. No way. This black box problem, it's a huge barrier. It's a wall between us and actually trusting the AI that's weaving its way into, well, everything. We're talking about systems making calls on our money, our health, you name it.
Okay, let's bring this down to earth. Picture this. You apply for a loan. You need it. And the answer comes back, denied. So you ask, okay, why? And the answer is crickets. Just silence. The AI literally can't tell you what happened. Was it your credit score, your income, some weird data point from 5 years ago? You have no idea. And without an explanation, how can you know if it was fair? How do you even know if it was a mistake? That right there, that's the trust gap.
So, what do we do about it? How do we fix this? Well, this is where a really cool field called Explainable AI, or XAI for short, steps into the picture. Its whole mission, its entire reason for being, is to take a hammer to that black box and let us see what's actually going on inside. When you get right down to it, XAI is basically a toolkit. It's a whole bunch of methods designed to help us humans finally understand why an AI did what it did. The big idea is to translate all that complex, nerdy machine logic into something that we can actually look at and say, ah, okay, I get it now. And this chart, it lays it out perfectly. Look on the left. That's your traditional AI, the black box. The process is totally opaque. But now look at the right. That's what we're talking about with XAI, the glass box. Same input, but now the process is transparent. And the output isn't just yes or no. It's the decision plus the reason. It finally gives us that all-important why. Okay, this all sounds amazing, right? But how? How does a computer actually do this? How does it explain itself? Let's, peek under the hood a little bit. So really, how does this work? It's not like the AI sits down and writes a long email explaining its feelings. No, the methods are, well, they can get technical, but the basic ideas behind them are actually pretty straightforward. Basically, XAI gives us answers in a few different ways. First, there's something called feature importance. This tells you what stuff mattered the most. So in that loan example, it might say, hey, the credit score was way more important than the income. Then you have saliency. Think of this like a digital highlighter. It shows you the exact pieces of data the AI zeroed in on, maybe one late payment you made years ago. And finally, it can show you similar examples, basically saying, here are a few other cases just like yours where we made the same decision. That helps you see the pattern. All right, so we've got explanations. We've opened the box. We're done. Problem solved. Well, not so fast. This is really, really important to get. XI is a powerful tool, for sure, but it is not a magic wand. We got to have a little reality check here. Look, just because an AI gives you an explanation, that doesn't automatically mean it's the 100% complete and total truth. Especially now, with these massive models like LLMs. What you get is often a simplified version, an approximation of what really happened inside. I love this way of thinking about it. It's a clue, not a confession.
And that leads to this incredibly important takeaway. The explanation isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning. It's the starting point for a human, an expert, to look at it and say, okay, let's review this. It gives them the clues they need to check the AI's work and make sure it's all making sense.
So the bottom line is this. XAI isn't about getting rid of human oversight. It's about making it better. The goal was never to build an AI we could just blindly trust and walk away from. The goal is to build an AI that can work hand-in-hand transparently with a person who gets to make the final call. That human oversight is absolutely key.
So where does that leave us? Getting an explanation is a massive step forward, don't get me wrong, but it's still just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. If we want to build real, lasting trust in AI, we have to zoom out and think bigger. We need what you could call an ecosystem of trust.
Here's a good way to think about it. Imagine your car. The dashboard telling you why the check engine light is on, that's explainability. That's great. But the reason you really trust your car is because you know it went through crash tests, it passed safety inspections, and you get it checked out regularly. See? It's multiple layers. We need that exact same thinking for AI.
And this whole framework for trust really comes down to three main things. Step 1 is explainability. That's getting the why. Step 2 is evaluations. This means you are constantly testing the AI, kicking the tires, making sure it's still accurate and reliable. And step 3, audits. This is where you bring in outsiders to check the whole system for things like fairness, bias, and security. You need all three of those working together to build trust that's actually going to last.
Okay, so let's do a super quick recap. We started with that frustrating black box problem, where we couldn't see inside. Then we saw how XAI comes in and smashes that box open, finally giving us the why. But we also learned that these explanations are tools for people to use. They're not gospel truth. And the big finish? Real trust isn't just one thing. It's a whole system. Explainability, evaluations, and audits, all working together.
And that leaves us with one last, big, kind of tricky question to think about. As AI gets better and better at explaining itself, who's on the hook? When a decision is made, who is ultimately responsible? Is it the person who coded the AI, the company using it, or is it the human who looked at the explanation and signed off on it? That's a huge question and one we're all going to have to figure out together. Thanks for digging into this with me.